East here it was, yeah. So we're about to go racing with round number 1 of Super Pro. My goodness, the crowd are good looking this morning, aren't they?
They are indeed.
They are indeed. John Prisball rolling round.
Yeah,
he's taking on Ian Brown.
Yeah. Now Ian Brown's dialed in 8 seconds flat. Their PB is 8:03.
But they haven't seen the racetrack for 2 days, and the weather was different 2 days ago as well.
If they break out, they'll be happy.
If they win, they'll be
just
happy.
As happy. So it doesn't matter. They'll probably hopefully still be happy at the end of the run.
So I'll just explain in a couple of moments once they've done their burnouts. Traditional tyre heaters. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Blows out the... That's a whole day of frustration sitting in the rain, that was, in one burnout for Ian Brown. So both of these cars run off what we call dial-ins. So if you look towards the scoreboard, if you haven't been before, even if you have, it's always good to refresh your memory. If you look towards the scoreboard at the top ends of the racetrack, you can see the times or the numbers for each lane. So Ian Brown in the coal-fire lane, his predicted time is 8.00. For John Prisball in the Autoglim lane is 7.54 for the dragster. Now the way it works is the timing crew program in a difference or a stagger on the tree. So you see the door car go first by 0.46 of a second. Then John Prisball will get the green light as well. And basically it's the one that gets to the finish line first but doesn't go quicker than that time. If they go too quick, it's called a breakout. That means they are automatically out unless they both go too quick. Then it gets even more easy to explain. It's who does it by the least. Who is the least worst? Is that a phrase?
That'll do.
It is now. And all this could be won and lost on the start line via reaction times. All gets very tense as well because, like I said, they haven't seen the racetrack for 2 days. They were definitely ready after all the weather. Can John run him down? It's going to be Ian that gets there first.
Oh, they've got the out. Yeah, but they've got their 7.
But look at John Prisball though. He was 7.55 on a 54, and he was over the finish line. Over the finish line, 0.05 of a second. Also, Ian Brown's reaction time was a 0.003. My goodness, he had a lot of coffee for this morning. But
I think he was more impressed with the 7.
Yeah, I think so.
Really, so they're happy.
As the car is called, that'll do.
Well done to John Prisball going through into round 2.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny wasn't bad. I mean, an 0.03 light and a 7.55 and a 54. Yeah. I mean, Ian Brown actually had room to manoeuvre at the top end, but didn't. Anyway, 2 door cars now. Both dial, unbelievably, 8.15. We saw these pair up quite a few times actually in qualifying, didn't we? Yeah. So this is almost a heads-up race.
They're good friends as well, actually.
Well, they might not be after this. We'll have to wait and see. Dave Evans with the Doomsday Impala, coal-fire lane. Thomas Haas from Switzerland with the Valiants. Autoglim lane. Well, there is a reaction time difference, and I don't need to tell you what it was because it was quite clear. Thomas is going to get there first, and he gets the win by a whole shot. 8.27. He was 0.6 on the tree. Dave Evans was 0.19, and that was the difference through the top end. Dave Evans was much closer to his dial-in.
Yeah. Still very well judged at the strike there.
Oh, yeah.
0.6.
Did he back off a little? I mean, he still went 161, though.
Yeah.
Saying that, though, Dave Evans backed off a lot. He only went 133. So, Thomas Haas through to round 2.
Right, Mick Howling up next. And he's got Mick Good for company. This is a big difference off the start line for these two. Mick Good, 6.8 something will be his dialing. And obviously a big long burnout for the blown Jagster. And
this is a bit of a hare and tortoise race, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
By comparison, anyway. We get a few of those, don't we?
So shorter burnout for Mick. That's why he was waiting for Nick to come back first.
If you wonder, there's such a great mix of cars in this class, but basically it's all about running as close to your predicted time as possible. Now, that predicted time is judged by the teams. They decide it on, well, obviously, they know what the car's going to run to start with. However, it's also down to air conditions, track conditions. There's so many factors in there, and it's all about being consistent, quick on the tree, and running close to your number, as we've seen already. I mean, what a couple of first opening races, to be honest. Do you know what, after yesterday, it's nice to see some racing. I didn't want to say that out loud, but blimey it is, yeah. You bet. So Mick Howling.
84 then for Nick Good.
Round about a second and a half between, and Mick Howling's going to be going first with the Fix Auto car in the Auto Glim Lane 684. Sorry, 838 for him, 684 for Nick Good. Good's already gone past him by half track. If Nick Good doesn't break out, which he doesn't, Nick Good's got the win. Mick Howling had a bit of a howler on the start line. A half-second reaction time.
The Franken Chevy, we love it. Stefan Jansen from Sweden alongside Billy Gain with the Vauxhall Victor.
Yeah, the smallest of small blocks in there as well. 377. Actually, that's nearly half the size of the engine in Billy Gain's car, isn't it? But they've dialed very similar elapsed times. 8:43 for the Franken Chevy. Again, to my knowledge, well, I'm pretty sure that was the Lindau Brothers 57 Chevy that first came over here in, I think, around about 2000 or thereabouts, maybe 99, probably 2000. The running Pro Modified for a number of years. I love the fluffy dice. I really love the fluffy dice on the back of it. He's going to go first by not much, 700. And Billy Gain's going to try and run him down. I think Billy Gain, he can go way quicker than 836. So he may be the one at with the horsepower advantage at the top end. So 55 Chevy versus Vauxhall. Detroit versus Birmingham. Is that right? Was that where Vauxhall's built?
Ellesmere Port. Well, I don't know where that one was built, but Bedford or Luton area and Ellesmere Port, the current Vauxhall factories.
Jansen sends himself on the ferry home early with a red light. Billy Gain will take the win no matter what happens at the top end. 8:44, my goodness. 03 red on the tree. Bang on the money, darling. That's why it's so difficult to win, because there's multiple chances to lose, and that was the one we hadn't seen so far. So, commiserations, Stefan Jansen. Thank you for making the long trip over to see us. We hope you had a good time. It's not a good reaction time, obviously. So, your next pair. Two dragsters, and these two actually raced for the title last year, didn't they?
They did, yeah. It was an interesting match-up, this one. Teresa making her man up.
Probably with chilly knees this morning. In the Auto Glim Lane, 8:12 for Ian Powell. Going up against Chris Parker, the man with the #1 on the car from last year. He's actually in with a shout, a long shot of doing it again this year. Then again, it was a very long shot last year as well, wasn't it, when he came into the event? I think he was about number 5 or 6 in points, but because he won the event, he won the title. So 776 for Chris. Well, my goodness me, it was a 001 red for Chris. I think that's pretty much Chris out of the championship running.
Oh, breakout as well, but
well,
it doesn't matter.
And that's going to be a nasty one to look at on the timing slip. Ian Powell was 0.11 on the tree. Chris was 001 red, unfortunately. Just about as close as you can get without being green. Can you say he did a bad job of green lighting? You can say he did a bad job of red lighting anyway, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, Chris is out. It moves on.
Austin Jacks taking on Brian Pateman.
Austin,
Brian, unusually qualified in the number 20.
And I don't want to say unusually because he was very consistent. Austin Jacks with an 8:44 up there. That's what he ran a few times yesterday. Yeah, I say yesterday, Thursday. Blimey, how many days have we been in? 8:86 for Brian Pateman. About 0.4 of a second advantage to the Red Firebird, who did very, very well down at Hockenheim for the Nitro Olympics. Got to the late rounds in Super Pro.
Race on here.
Certainly have. At the top end, I think Austin Jacks has got his nose in front.
He has.
He doesn't break out, he takes the win. He also had a whole shot on Brian Pateman off the start line, 0.04 of a second. He goes over the stripe by 0.07 at the finish line. Closer to his dial-in, quicker on the tree. That's the way to do it. So Brian Pateman's shot exit in round one, but then shouldn't be too much of a surprise because Austin Jacks really was pretty good.
Austin has been on it all
Yeah,
weekend.
he certainly has, all through qualifying. Bang on the money, and did it again in round one. So the next pair underneath us is going to be two incredibly quick door cars from the Netherlands. Walter van Leersum is going to be taking on Johan Oomen. Now, who's Johan replaced, Colin? Because you've got the order.
Right, sorry, who's the next
pair? It's Walter van Leersum was due...
Mark Flavel.
Shame. Taking on...
so Mark is obviously... Well, I think that hopping issue was... could be something to do with it. It was all over the place.
Yeah, it's a big shame for Mark. I mean, fingers, toes, legs, eyes and everything else, because Mark gets his 6-second run sometime soon. So... just a little bit of track work going on. If you were here yesterday, obviously you're fully aware that we can't race with anything on the racetrack, especially fluid. Just out there dragging the start line. When we get an awful lot of weather on the track, it does appear to be dry. However, a lot of the water tends to soak into the surface, so we just have to pay special attention to make sure none of it, when the track heats up during the day in the sun, which fingers crossed it will, or it is already doing, it tends to sort of, it brings it up to the surface a little. That's what the track crew are doing out there, just making sure it's absolutely 100% safe, which I'm sure it is. So Johan Oomen only made one qualifying run on Thursday, and it was by far his personal best, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
He went way quicker than his dial-in, went 6.74, which is actually going to be his dial-in for round one, and over 200 miles an hour for the first time as well.
Okay, can we have Comp Eliminator into the pairing lanes, please? Comp Eliminator, make your way down. All right, just having a look at the championship permutations actually in Super Pro. John Prisball has gone through, so he's still in. Brian Pateman is just been knocked out.
And where was he?
He was 5th. He was, funny enough, he was equal 5th with Chris Parker.
And they both went out.
They've both gone out. So this is possibly Team Time is Money. That's Tom and John Atkinson. They could move up here, but they've got a first round matchup with Scott Hauser.
Who is number one?
Who is number one in the points?
I say number one in the points at the moment. The way the national championship or any of the
right here at Santa Boni's, you can take a ride down the drag strip in a dragster. Now this dragster does around 8 seconds, and this morning we've got one lucky girl who's going to be getting herself down there. So how are you feeling?
Very excited.
Yeah? How long have you been coming to drag racing? Have you always wanted to get in one of these?
Yeah, definitely. I've been 36 years.
So we'll be watching you go down the track and have a good time.
So a couple of big door cars from the Netherlands. Walter van Leersum with the supercharged Camaro. 7.16 is his dial-in, 6.74 for Johan Oomen. I'm surprised we aren't seeing the penguins out though, because it is a bit chilly.
Oh dear, every single time he comes out, the penguins get mentioned.
Well,
it will never disappear,
it's probably one of the more unique, what's the word I'm looking for, crew uniforms I've ever seen, I think. That's probably it. Don't you reckon? Yeah, I think so too. That and when Gordon Appleton quit and they all came out dressed like the Blues Brothers, that was pretty cool as well. That was really good. But the blown car is going to go first by a few tenths of a second. Johan Oomen with the big Viper is going to try and run him down. Not sure why Johan only made one run. It was a quick one, wasn't it? Very quick run.
1.42 of a second head start to the Camaro from the Netherlands. And that's right, both of them from the Netherlands. So Johan will be chasing him down.
For bragging rights on the ferry home, this is. Well, they both got very good green lights. I think Johan Opens almost caught him. Johan Opens in the lead, and he takes the win. I'm not sure what problem Walter van Lersum had, because the car 60 footed like it always does. Yeah. It still had the speed like it always does, but just dropped off a little bit in elapsed time. Johan Omen, though, with a 0008 reaction time. That is almost a bad job of red lighting, to be honest with you, but it was terrific.
Cracking job.
And he ran 6.84 on the 74, closest to his darling. Got there by a 10th of a second.
What a cracking race that was.
Certainly was indeed. Up next, we've got two guys from the UK with door cars, or one with a door truck, to be honest. Geordie Northway, Gudge down there with the step-side pickup, that was 8.70 against around about a second quicker. That's going to be Pel Norman with the Capri. So the pickup goes first. Just watch how this little Capri runs. It just flies up the racetrack, doesn't it?
And it doesn't always go exactly straight. He really has to drive.
It never goes straight, to be honest with you. That's what makes it fun to watch, and probably very hard to dial in, quite frankly. Two very polite reaction times is what all I'll say about that. Can Pel Norman run him down? It's Gudge over the line first, and he breaks out.
Gudge breaks out.
Oh, look at that from Pel Norman, though. 72 on a 72. Nice job. Pretty close to the finish line. Gordon Northway was there first by, well, the reaction time advantage on the tree, actually.
Breaks out by 4 thousandths of a second.
Oh. In a Class Act competitive, that was almost a, oh, no, you go first, okay, you go first, sort of reaction time.
It goes to show they both know their cars. Jack Brewster giving it large out there. Good, strong burnout for him. A little bit of a cheeky wiggle at the end. So, but Darlin's end, Jack Brewster, 7:45, going to be chasing Brad Jackson down. Brad dials in 7:73. I'm sure Jackie's tuned in at home. Good morning to you, Jackie. Your man.
Well, I think actually Jackie's here.
Is she?
We got told it's actually Kenny Gomez that built the motor in that.
Well, apologies.
And a very good job he did too as well. Jackie joined life, I'm sure, with a blown engine out front, looking for 7.45 up against Brad Jackson. Brad is number 2 in points.
Yeah, this is quite crucial.
This is, well, every round for Brad's crucial for the rest of the season now. Goes without saying. So, Dragster's going to go first, which is always bizarre, really, because you always think Dragsters are the quickest.
Yeah.
However, when you've got a blown big block Chevy out front, it doesn't always work out that way. Well, once again, a very polite reaction time from Jack Brewster. I don't think I needed to tell anybody that. Oh, and he plays that. 7:33 at 187 miles an hour. He was having fun anyway.
Well, that's a new personal best for Jack. Congratulations for that. It's a shame it happened round 1 eliminations.
Well, he had a half-second reaction time as well, which was probably not in the plan anyway.
Yeah.
This is a big one, this one, especially points-wise. Tom Atkinson, they are within strike. There's a number of people actually within striking distance of the top spot. And the man that's got a target on his back is in the dragster in the cold fire lane.
This is right. So Brad's gone through.
Yep. Everybody but Chris, I think, so far. Yeah. We've still got to see the rest of them anyway. But, oh no, Brian Pateman went out as well. Apologies.
Joe Kellett is the other one that is still in the mix.
Yeah, this is a tough race. So if Tom Atkinson and the team want to shout at the Super Pro Championship in a few weeks' time,
got to win this.
It's a must win. Then again, to be honest with you, it's a fairly must win for Scott Hauser too. They're all that close. So 887 for the Cortina, 764 for the Dragster. Is Scotty going to catch him? Looks like he's got him at the finish line, and he gets the win as well. Both 400s off their dial-in, but it was, to be honest with you, the reaction time advantage on the tree for Scott Hauser was the margin of victory, 0.9 at the finish line. So Scott Hauser moves on, takes another step towards potentially another Super Road Championship.
Well, Scott Hauser has got Nick Good. Yeah, Scott has got Nick Good next round, so he will be chased.
We need to have a word with Lee Darby. He's got 8:05 on the truck, but no smiley face. Yeah. And two of the happiest people probably this weekend, because Lee's truck has been running very well indeed down into the low eights. That's why he's got an 8:05, purging the nitrous on the pickup in the auto glim lane. 8:42 for Bob Doyle. He went 8:3. Back on Thursday.
Did have a chat with Lee actually. The truck has never been in the sevens, so he was running PBs.
Well, that's why he was obviously had a smiley face when he dialed a 7. Well, smiley stroke hopeful face anyway. So here we go. Little Datsun going to go first. My goodness. Well, he's got to Lee Darby. As long as Bob doesn't break out, he's got the win. And he breaks out. Oh my goodness me. He goes 8:38 on a 42. Bob basically had that stitched. He was 009 on the tree. Lee Darby was 0.43 and he had problems off the line. However, Bob didn't back off at the finish line. Kept going 153 miles an hour. One of his quickest ever runs, but they're not that happy with it. Yeah, too quick for the dial. Pete Lane with the 55 Chevy? 56, 55, yeah. 55. Ear split loud and boomer, so I can see the front end from here to see whether it was a 55 or 6. Taking on the quickest car in bracket racing in the world, I think. Sid with the small fortune supercharged dragster. Basically it is everything but a top methanol dragster, or a few legalities, I think. I think what he did when he built it was he deliberately left a few things off to make it legal, so he wasn't tempted to go and run all out in TMD. So he dialed 600, Pete Lane with an 864. He's going to be going first by 2.64 seconds, which is going to seem like an eternity. But then Martin Jones is used to that, isn't he, really?
Well, easy maths, 2.64 second advantage. Well, head start, I should say, it's not an advantage.
Looks like he's never going to get him. He might do. Pete Lane takes the win. Bang on Darby though. Sid was quicker off the start line. That was a lot closer at the finish line than it really should have been. Sadly for us, Martin Jones, and him goes out round 1. Pete Lane though, bang on the money. That's what you need to do, isn't it, really? What it's all about.
So Pete Walters alongside Ashley Bell.
Yeah, Ashley Bell didn't have a great time in qualifying. He was number 32 qualified. Pete, by his own high standards, was only number 16. However, they'd only made a couple of runs, didn't they, I think? With Derek Flynn's gold RB, Pete Walters' race designed dragster down there. That's Derek guiding him into the stage with the trademark beard and ponytail.
Yeah, this
trademark enthusiasm as well.
Aaron Benson will be running this car next year. Deal struck this weekend.
Yeah, another one of those hare and tortoise matchups. Ashley's going to go first by a good couple of seconds almost.
Oh, that's...
He goes. He's got the win no matter what. And he backs out of it at the top end. He doesn't need to nail it all the way through. 764, but Ashley Bell was 0-3 red on the tree. But he moves on.
All right, got 3 pairs to go. Big championship permutations in this one, though. Joe Kellett, currently number 3 in the points.
All right.
Stars in 8.22.
Yeah, so Joe is up there. Where is he? Number about 3,
well, he's 3
in the championship.
Points.
Well, he won back at Shakespeare County a couple of weeks ago, bank holiday weekend. In pretty convincing fashion as well. Where was he in qualifying? He ended up number 7, but he was deadly consistent. Very deadly. But he found his mojo.
And he looks like he's got a sneaky buy here, actually.
Who's
No sign of Alan Didwell.
Ah, what with the falling car?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Any round win is a good round win, especially when you're fighting for titles. So Scott's through, Brad Jackson's through, Joe Kellett's through, and John Bristol's through.
Yeah. So the top 4.
So the top 4 are all through.
A lot of youngsters there as well.
Sorry?
A lot of youngsters there.
Yeah, spot the junior dragster driver.
Exactly.
I think all of them.
Yes, indeed. Great stuff.
Yeah, I think they're going to be banned from moving up from junior dragster to Super Pro shortly. Just kidding. Obviously not.
Just think John Garrison could have gone in the other lane if he'd have got a time on the
Don't
board.
say it out loud. I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. Yeah, the last thing that the field needs to give the Kellets is a tune-up run. 8:27. Whoa. Oh. That was a hair's breadth from going straight through the tree. Guido Ulier with that immaculate little opal down there. Really, really beautiful put together car, built by John Webster, just over, funny enough, by the main gate. 7.78 is his dialing up against Laura Turbeville with the Bad Blood Dragster. Matte black, just kind of blends into the tarmac, doesn't it, really? 782. So there's hardly anything between them on the tree, actually. You're going to do well to see the stagger on the start line. Fingers crossed for both of them.
Actually surprised that Guido's running in Super Pro, actually. That is a perfect car for comp.
Well, it is a comp car. He ran it in comp earlier.
Yeah.
I can only think that they're just having trouble getting it up to the required performance for comp eliminator due to the index. I think that's an A-Alton.
That's, yeah, they wanted to come in Super Pro to kind of get used to the car, get a bit of a feel for the car, gets it running a bit quicker, to then go in.
To go back in comp, because their index in comp, I think, for an A-Alton is 756. Yeah. So you know, dialing the 778. Well, Guido with a move towards the centre line. That's close. I think you're right. 786 takes out a 783, but that is a whole shot win. Laura with a 0.28, Guido with a 0.11, and the win margin at the top end is 0.10. All of that added together means a whole shot win.
Right, Barry Giles on a solo.
He's on his own, yeah.
Well, no Al Golding, unfortunately, with the Decree Absolute.
Well, don't feel too sorry for John Garrison, because he's sitting around there ready to run.
Ah, good.
So he's tagging on the end after all the hard work. Well, so don't you still feel sorry for him, because they want to be in eliminations, you know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, Barry Giles with the Giles and Hartley car gets a freebie into round 2. Very surprised not to see the Gileses up there in the points as well. They're down at number 10 at the moment. I think that's because Barry, I think he hasn't raced at Shakespeare County this year, is he? I think that may have something to do with it. Obviously, a national championship goes between 2 different tracks. Morning, Ian. Sorry you got the rest of the weekend off. Say hi to Laura for us. Yeah, if you want an indecently quick slingshot, go and see Ian up there in the pits. I'm sure it's still for sale. Is that right, Ian? I think it is, definitely, yeah. An absolute beautiful piece of work. If you want to go fast for not a lot of money, go and see Ian up in the pit area.
Just a quick one for me. Can I have FIA top methanol into pairing lanes, please? FIA top methanol into the lanes.
So Barry Giles gets a freebie stroke tune-up run.
Double over 9 right.
Goes 7:57. Well, considering these guys and girls haven't seen the track for 2 days, that was a pretty stout first round, wasn't it? Look at the back end of the car. It actually looks... Yeah, stay away from that side of the track.
Yeah, apart from the light, everything's there.
Now, this beautiful-looking 55 Chevy, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to John Gerritsen from the Netherlands. His first run out on Thursday. I'm not sure whether you saw it, Matt, but it wasn't pretty, was it?
No, it wasn't, no.
What he did, basically, the trans line split off the start line when he nailed the throttle. It put a load of horrible slimy stuff under the right rear slick and spun the car around 180 degrees into the wall, but just by the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Hardly any distance whatsoever. And we had the really bizarre sight of a car sitting there facing us, like there, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So let's hope all the hard work pays off. This is only a practice run for John Gerritsen. The race director very kindly allowed him, after all the hard work, to come out and tag on the end of the session.
As Colin says, with the exception of the light, it doesn't really notice too much.
Yeah. No, I think that's because the car's black in the first place, isn't it, really? Yeah. But no, you're right. I'm amazed that the rear wing looks that straight. It all looks that straight, to be honest with you. Wheelie bars as well. So, anyway, fingers crossed for John Gerritsen.
So where the chutes come out. Oh, they did. Well done.
8:32, 111 miles an hour. It's good to see John Gerritsen back out on the racetrack. I love the fact it's called Double Trouble as well. I didn't even notice that. It's probably rhymes better than the right pain in the backside, doesn't it?
Right, match-ups round 2 in Super Pro. Scott Howes has got Nick Good. Thomas Haas has got Pete Lane. Pell Normal against Barry Giles. Joe Kellett has got Guido Ulla with the little local. John Prisball and Brad Jackson. That should be a good one because that's got championship permutations. Ian Powell has got Johan Oman. Austin Jackson against Lee Darby. And Billy Gain has got Pete Walters.
Okay, so we got the 2-seater. We have Top Speed Automotive Street Eliminator. Then we're into Comp, Top Methanol.
And can I please call Pro Modified into the pairing lanes, please? FIA Pro Modified into the lanes.
See, I knew that was going to happen.
You did.
What a show they put on last night.
That was pretty damn good, to be honest with you, wasn't it? Yeah. The most amazing part about it, from where I was stood on the start line, there was hardly any tyre shake. You know, which is they're hard enough to get hold of as it is, those cars, aren't they? But to have virtually no tyre shake from anybody was pretty outstanding. With
the dew point just getting lower and lower and lower, it was fantastic to watch.
Especially after a long day sitting around watching it rain. Yeah. There we go. So, I think the passenger in the 2-seater was just interviewed by Becky for the web TV. Shame she can't interview him at the top end afterwards. I've done that before, actually. I've got one poor unsuspecting soul at the top end as they came round. Because the 2-seater obviously runs just before the procession, and I was up there doing interviews. And the lad in the back was suitably excited.
Fair bit of a...
I remember, I know I said this before, but I'll say it again for those that haven't heard or didn't pay attention or both. Years ago, one of the funniest ones I heard of was Gordon Appleton used to give passenger rides, if you remember. And there was a journalist one day that turned up and he said, right, he said, okay, how do I drive it? And they said, you're not driving it. And he said, oh, what do I do then? They said, get in the passenger.